Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm working on this long and narrow canvas, which as you can see I've already wet and applied some pearlescent gold Rowney inks. The canvas is still very wet, so I'm now actually going in with some Indigo ink. This is Rowney as well. And I'm just using the little dropper to pull out some shapes. These are just random shapes. There's nothing drawn. I just want to play a little bit intuitively here. And I've been wanting to do something blue and gold for a while. A little bit of a different setup today, I'm afraid. We're actually outside in my backyard because we're having a mini heat wave in the UK. So it was too hot to work in the studio. So I apologise for the light quality here. So I've just dropped a few little bits of the indigo in, and I'm using this medium-sized metal palette knife just to push that ink around, mixing the two together. They're both wet, so I can blend the two, then making some interesting colours. I like that. There's sort of a sage green going on, but it's very blue green. And it's lovely to be able to move the inks, help them to flow, make different shapes, push into the ink with the blade, and you get some really interesting sort of shape elements going on here. We could go mad and fill the whole of the canvas with different shapes, but I want to keep it relatively simple. Lift out a little bit there with some kitchen towel that I'm not quite sure I like those colours, but that's fine. And continuing to just push that indigo, make a little bit more design going on. It's really very intuitive. This is all just about how you want the shapes to emerge. I'll push that gold out a little bit and spread it from that centre. You can get some really nice fine lines if you use the side of a palette knife. And now I'm just putting in a little bit of white paint there, just titanium white, and I'm just putting it into a couple of areas just to smooth some of the colours and just soften that canvas. We can't actually see it. It doesn't really matter. It's just there because I wanted to just blend out some of the colours a little, take that gold out, which makes it look a little softer. And what I'm going to do is just really with a very soft, large mop brush, just almost tickle the paint and soften it out. And at the same time, I'm actually going to very, very gently pull out some of that ink while it's wet. Let's see, where else should I pull? Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to pull some of the gold out here as well. Move my hand so you can see. It's going to give us a lovely, soft, brushed effect, not heavy, very, very gentle. Lighter the hand and the touch, the easier it is to just keep it soft. It's still wet, so it's moving, so I can pull it just until I've got enough sort of movement as it's fading away towards the end of it. Now you can see I've got some lovely sweeps going on there. I want to add a little bit more blue against this gold, so I'm just wetting it with this flat brush, just cold, clean tap water, and I'm using a very fine liner brush just to drop some more of the indigo ink into that water that I've just placed. I want to be a bit more careful this time on where I actually put it. So I'll drop that in, pull it along, make an interesting shape there, take it to that edge. Okay, right to the edge. Get a lovely narrow line. And oops, I got a little bit of a drop of water and ink there. That's okay. I shall just go in quickly while it's wet, lift it out with kitchen roll, disappeared completely. And using the side of the liner brush helps it to spread the ink into the water a little bit more, rather than use a large brush. Where else should we put some? Yeah, let's put a little bit of highlight in here. Let's get that darker line back again, just to give us a little bit more structure. So yeah, pulling that down. Liner brushes actually hold an enormous amount of ink and paint, so they do quite a lot of work with one brushful, and you can just get those lovely lines going. Now this is the white, titanium white ink. I've decided I'm just going to put a few little dots, nothing too complex, and I want them to show up, so obviously I'm putting them onto the gold and the blue, and likewise I'm going to put some gold dots, just to break up the lines. You don't have to do this, obviously. This is just something that I like to add in sometimes. That's just added a little bit of interest there. Quite pleased with that. Okay, we'll put a few further up again against the blue, just to soften that down a little bit, add a little bit more interest. I finished adding in the little gold dots, so now I'm just adding a few lines of the titanium white paint. I just want to break up some of the areas. It's very difficult for you to see, I know, and appreciate that. But in the final sort of picture, you will be able to see these very fine lines of white paint. You could use the ink if you prefer, but for this I'm just finding it much easier to guide it with the palette knife. Now I'm going to use a palette knife to add in a few lines with some Prussian blue paint. This isn't the ink, this is actually the paint. Again, it's just a little bit easier to control, keep those neat lines. So I'm just going in, breaking up some of the areas. It's all about balance. I've talked about this before a little with the abstract work. Abstract is considered to be easy, but actually to get a successful painting, you need a few different elements going on, and balance is one of those. So adding in little areas, little bits of just definition and contrast into some areas, so the dark blue shows up against the gold and the white, and it breaks those elements up a little, gives you a little bit of variation and something for the eye to actually look for and sort of work out what's going on. So on top of the gold here, on top of the blue here, I'm actually putting some gold. I'm going to just, it's very much a consideration of where you want to put it. One of the most difficult questions I think most artists get asked, especially in classes if you're teaching, is how do I know when to stop? It's it's really hard to know. The only thing that I can say in my 20 odd years of self-learning painting is if you get to the point where you say to yourself, should I just do something else, then stop, because there's a very good chance it either doesn't need it or you're getting tired and struggling to assess it. So give it a break and come back to it again. Now, in order to break up the white, I'm just adding a few little spatters here, using a very fine liner, which is probably a little bit of a mistake because you end up with quite small speckles, and it can get a little bit wild, but I'm going for it. So I'm adding a few spots of blue, gold, just to break up the larger white areas. I don't want them to be a desert of colour. I want them to have a little bit of interest in them, and I'm going to add another layer of some other inks just in a little while. So once again, now this is all dry, I want to add a little bit more warmth, and this time I'm actually just going to use Prussian blue paint. We've used indigo with the inks and I just want a little bit more warmth. So all I'm going to do is wet a few areas, and I'm using quite a soft filbert brush for this. This brush could be used for watercolours or acrylics, and it just helps the sort of water to move and the paint goes on really nice and softly. So we'll join up a little bit of that darker area with this Prussian blue paint, which you can see when it's spread out is a really pretty colour. It's still in keeping with what we've done up to now, but it's just going to add a little bit more variety and warmth. So once that paint's on, I'm just going to soften that edge. This is just with water, and I'm just going to keep doing this, just adding a little bit more water each time just to get that to move. We want those edges to be a little bit softer and the paint shows up more. We'll pop some across this side too because it balances. Just add the paint in very gently. Let's just connect it up a little bit with some of the areas, pulling it out, and then again I have softened that a lot. I'm actually going to pull some over the top of the gold, right in that centre. There's quite a large area of gold that perhaps could do with breaking up. So I'm going in with quite a bit of paint here, just applying it very carefully, and then with the water, just softening that out, just pulling it, We won't go completely over the gold. I'm going to pull it to the side so we've got a little bit of a sort of contrast going there. And I'm just going to dab the edge where the wet is just to soften. I don't want a hard edge. And I'm just going to keep adding in colour until I'm happy with it. So as you can see, I'm sort of working on an angle, letting it run and then just dabbing it. Just keeping it nice and loose, nice and soft. And that's come together really well. So what I'm going to add in now is some of this iridescent gold. This is Rowney. It is so pale, it looks like white, but it's just got a hint of gold in it. And I've just wet these areas. These are the large areas of just the white paint that we put on before. Nothing much in them other than a few spatters, and it's just going to add some interest. It's difficult for you to see, and I appreciate that, but when I video it with the light on, you'll be able to see where that is. I'm also going to put a little bit over the top of this blue, because the gold and the blue together are really going to look very pretty. Over the top of those little white dots, and just pulling that really loosely. And now, as you can see, we've got the freckles, the little spatters, and just that shimmer of gold that's going on, just to give a little bit of warmth. Not too much, not over the top, but enough for finishing that painting for me. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this and that you'll have a go at your own abstract painting. And I will be back with part 2 of this very soon. In the meantime, keep painting. Bye for now.